वल्लभा गिरिवरदारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जयो राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 82, text number 36 to 38. 38 is on the board, so 36, 37, I'll just recite the sloka and translation. 36 purport is also there, small purport. Rohini Devaki Chata Parisvajya Vrajeshwarim Smarantyau Tatkritam Maitrim Bhashpa Kanthyau Samuchatuhu. Then Rohini and Devaki both embraced the queen of Vraja, remembering the faithful friendship she had shown them. Their throats choking with tears, they addressed her as follows. Purport. At this time, according to Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Sri Vasudeva invited Nanda outside to meet Ugrasena and the other elder Yadus. Taking this opportunity, Rohini and Devaki talked with Queen Yashoda. 37. Ke vismareta vam maitrim anivrittam brajeshwari avapyapi aindram aishwaryam yasya neha pratikriya. Rohini and Devaki said, what woman could forget the unceasing friendship you and Nanda have shown us? Dear Queen of Vraja, there is no way to repay you in this world even with the wealth of Indra. So we'll recite together 38 sloka. Yetavadrishta pritaro yuvayo smapitro Samprinanabhyudaya poshana palanani Prapyo shatur bhavati pakshma ha yadvadakshnor Nyastavakutra cha bhayo nasatam parasva Yetavadrishta pitaro yuvayo smapitro Samprinanabhyudaya poshana palanani Prapyo shatur bhavati pakshma hayadvadakshnor Nyastavakutra cha bhayo nasatam parasva Etavadrishta pitaro yuvayosma pitro Samprinanabhyudaya poshana palanani प्राप्यो शतुर्भवति पक्ष्मः यद्वदक्ष्णोर् न्यास्तावकुत्र च भयौ न सतां परस्वा प्राप्यो शतुर्भवति पक्ष्मः यद्वदक्ष्णो न्यासावकुत्र च भयो न शतां परस्वा. So, word to word meaning. Etau, these two, adrishta, not having seen, pitarau, their parents, yuvayo, of you two, sma, indeed, pitro, the parents, samprinana, coddling, abhyudaya, bringing up, poshana, nourishment, palanani, and protection, prapya, receiving, ushatu, they recited, bhavati, my good lady, pakshma, eyelids, ha, indeed, yat, vat, just as, akshno, of the eyes, nyastau, place in custody, akutra, nowhere, cha, and bhayau, whose fear, na, not, satam, for saintly persons, para, other, swa, own. Translation and purport by his divine disciples of his divine grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Before these two boys had ever seen their real parents, you acted as their parents and gave them all affectionate care, training, nourishment and protection. They were never afraid, good lady, because you protected them just as eyelids protect the eyes. Indeed, saintly persons like you never discriminate between outsiders and their own kin. Purport. As Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti explains, Krishna and Balarama had not seen their parents for two reasons: because of their exile in Vraja and also because they are never actually born and therefore have no parents. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti also describes what Devaki thought before speaking this verse. Alas, because for so long these two sons of mine had you, Yashoda, as their guardian and mother, and because they were immersed in such a vast ocean of ecstatic loving dealings with you, now that you are once more before them, they are too distracted to even notice me. Also, you are behaving as if insane and blind with love for them, showing millions of times more maternal affection than I possess. Thus, you simply keep staring at us, your friends, without recognizing us. So, let me bring you back to reality in the pretext of some affectionate words. So, this was the thought process. Then when Devaki failed to get any response from Yashoda, even after addressing her, Rohini said, "My dear Devaki, it's impossible just now to rouse her out of this ecstatic trance. We are crying in the wilderness, and her two sons are no less bound up in the ropes of affection for her than she is for them. So let us now go outside to meet Pritha, Draupadi and the others." So this ends the purport. We'll recite Mangalacharan prayers. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakya Chikshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Nama. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Sri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Lilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaye Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Seek blessings of all the devotees, especially His Grace Raseshwar Prabhu, so that I can attempt to glorify Lord. So here we can see in the purport Srila Prabhupada disciples for mentioning about the point of how this particular understanding of the statement before Krishna's actually seeing his real parents. So one of the point is he's been exiled to Braja, and other point is he doesn't actually have parents. So we can see both the Madhurya aspect and also the Aishwarya aspect. So there is Achintya Beda Beda aspect in every act of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Acharyas always help us understand that Achintya Beda Beda of the divine words we can see here of the internal potencies of the Supreme Lord. One of the purport in 10th canto, Mother Yashoda binding Krishna, Srila Prabhupada writes that Mother Yashoda is expansion of Srimati Radharani. So it is very, very exalted feelings which is beyond our chintan, achintya. Our spirit, our devotion, when it is completely pure of all the anarthas, and it is in the state of Krishna Prema, is part and parcel of the infinite devotion of Srimati Radharani. So we can understand how much achintya it is. And here these are the personalities who are expansions of Srimati Radharani. So the feelings are definitely beyond our chintan. So Kunti Maharani, who is incarnation of success potency, Srila Prabhupada mentions, tells in, this comes in first canto, prayers of Kunti Maharani. Gopyadade dvaikrita dhama tavat yate dashashrukalilāñjana sambramaksham bhaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya samam vimohayati bhirabhiyad bhibeti. So Kunti Maharani was mentioning that the Supreme Lord, fear personified, is afraid of Supreme Lord, but Supreme Lord is afraid of Mother Yashoda. So samam vimohayati, this particular sight is causing me bewilderment. This Kunti Maharani was saying, for his incarnation of success potency, she was saying that she is unable to perceive that particular divine aspect of Lord. So achintya. So bhira biyad bibeti. This achintya beda beda is there in every aspect of glorification of the internal potencies. So they are not ordinary personalities, they are divine personalities, internal potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So general sahajic tendency comes when one doesn't understand the tattva of the Supreme Personalities. So I mean, these divine personalities, people like in Vrindavan, there are so many Sahajiyas who dress themselves like gopis and all that different kind of distracted state, because they don't know the tattva properly. They don't understand it is swatattva vibrama, and not understanding one's own position, and paratattva vibrama, not understanding the tattva of the internal potencies and the Supreme Lord. So this vibrama leads to taking things very cheaply, and then there will be different acts in dualities. So Achintya Beda Beda is Bhakti Siddhanta. or else it is Bhakti Siddhanta Viruddha. So, like only taking the Madhurya aspect and forgetting the Aishwarya aspect, that is Bhakti Siddhanta Viruddha. Not knowing the Abheda aspect of the Supreme Lord and taking him cheaply. So that is Sahajiyak mentality, which is not proper Siddhanta. It is against Bhakti Siddhanta. So it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam Katha that Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. The great souls, Mahatmas, they are always under the shelter of divine potency, internal potency. This Daivim Prakritim is none other than Srimati Radharani. So the pure devotees are always under the shelter of internal potency, and their every thought, word and action is just meant for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita 4th canto, Prithu Maharaj mentions this particular point in relation to glorification of pure devotees. So he tells when there is a situation with Indra and Prithu Maharaj, and after the entire fight and everything with the son of Prithu Maharaj and Indra, and finally when everything was settled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so then Prithu Maharaj prays this particular prayers to Supreme Lord Vishnu. Says that Sauttama Shloka Mahan Mukhachyuto Bhavatpadam Boja Sudha Kananila Smritim Punar Vismritim Tattva Vartmanam Kuyoginam No Vitaracchalam Varai. Sauttama Shloka Mahan Mukhachyuto, the saffron dust particles of Supreme Lord, they come down through the sound vibrations of the pure devotee, and when these saffron dust particles strike the heart, then Smritim Punar Vismritim Tattva Vartmanam. So the Tattva of Lord, the understanding of the divine position of Supreme Lord becomes completely clear, and then Kuyoginam, from the disconnected state one get reconnected to the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is very, very, very important to associate with person Bhagavat, Srila Prabhupada books every day, because without reading Srila Prabhupada books, Srila Prabhupada himself says this particular point, that it is him who gave us qualification. So Prabhupada says that particular point, that I gave you the qualification. So without associating with Srila Prabhupada, one cannot act as a devotee. We are trying to act on devotional platform because of the person Bhagavat, by associating with Srila Prabhupada, or else very, very difficult. So the impact of the dark material energy with so many different misconceptions that create so much of darkness and heaviness in the consciousness, that one cannot one gets completely buried in the matter. So this particular asato ma sadgama, this happens by associating with pure devotee. Because when we associate with the divine qualities of pure devotee, then we start practicing this particular path of, we get appetite to practice asatoma sadgama. So recently Param Pujya Bhakti Vijay Bhagwat Swami Maharaj was mentioning this particular point. He mentioned in Puri Yatra also, when he took when there is Yatra. So there Maharaj was mentioning how without Bhagavat one cannot practice bhakti, without reading, without associating with person Bhagavat. It is very, very difficult. He was quoting Chetan Charitamrit statement. So it is very difficult, and book Bhagavat, and which is filled with person Bhagavat, so many person Bhagavatas. When we associate regularly with so many person Bhagavat, with the person Bhagavat, Srila Prabhupada, through his purports, so then we get so strongly connected to Supreme Lord. So what happens by that particular association is, Book Bhagavat says, Tada rajas tamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye cheta etair anavitam stitam sattve prasidati. So the modes of passion and ignorance. So we can see how this passion and ignorance create so much of dense darkness in this world. Like we can see in the form of the capitalism, because of the capital of capitalism, that is the United States, and because of and communism, you know, there is so much of this passion and ignorance. So the four varnas, we can see that Vaishyas are in passion and ignorance, and Shudras are in ignorance. So this that is actually 1, 2, 3, 4 categories, but the 5, 6, 7, 8 categories are running at present, because God is not there in the center. So this capitalism and communism, they are like the seven. They are not like, they are seventh and eighth categories. So because there is no question of God in the center. So it is Asuric Varnashrama. Capitalism means the Vaishyas are on top, and communism means the Shudras are on top. So this particular capitalism and communism, that creates so much of greed and crazy philosophies. We can see, for example, we can see capitalism like how what do you call daring and trespassing these people are, these industries and the companies and all, that they even use God in their business. We'll see how like, you know, one of the example, like in northern part of India, people are attracted to, like in Bengal and northern other areas, they're attracted to Radha Krishna and Sitaram. And people study the psychology of these industries, they study the psychology of people, and they make movies which are love stories. And in southern part, people are naturally they are attracted to Parshuramji and Nrisimha Dev, Lord Vishnu. That is God in action. And they study the psychology and they make action movies. And you can see how cunning and how tricky people are. in studying the psychology and to pull out people's mindset and then start making money out of it. So of course they pull the people and they start propagating their own crazy misconceptions, and they cheat masses by separating them from Supreme Lord. So the poison, it separates soul from body, but wish or the poison, it separates soul from body. So recently there is an incident in Goshala, ISKCON Goshala, that there is one very very poisonous cobra. It went into the body of went into the shirt of one person. So, and of course that video was been taken, that's how I came to know. So, and they have sent it that, like, in the Bagicha area of the temple, we have to be little careful, they have sent a message. So that snake, very, very, very blackish, they are saying, it's very, very poisonous cobra, they are saying. So it went into his shirt, very swiftly it went, and it was relaxing there. And then someone discovered, that there is snake, that has entered. Saab andar chala gaya. And then when they, they're trying to help him out, and somehow managed to, get rid of the snake. So, and that person was fearing at each and every point, that fear of, death. Just one bite, it's gone. Somehow, Krishna's mercy, that he was saved. So, and it is very, very dynamic actually. The snakes are very, very, very dynamic. I remember once in 2014 Rath Yatra, when I was been told to stay there. So, that time I was reading Prabhupada book, and there is some peculiar noise that was coming. Noise of hissing, that breathing sound. And I was feeling some sort of fear. I'm unable to understand, I'm unable to concentrate also, what I'm trying to read. So I'm struggling and straining, to concentrate, but I was thinking, why I'm unable to concentrate, And then suddenly I got more distracted because of that sound. And then like it was very, very dense clouds and very dark, a lot of darkness outside. That too, at around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, like that. And one of our devotee, like the other devotee who was staying with me, he was taking rest. So then I saw behind, and I saw, one tube, thick tube. It started moving. And I was thinking of Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, that snake has to be killed. But I was not getting that much guts actually, that it was such a strong tube, it was like thick and gravely it was moving. Very, very slowly it was slithering inside that hut where we are staying. And then when I woke up our devotee, and then he started clapping his hands. And then I said, snake has to be killed, we should take one stick and attempt. And then, he was focusing more on, getting it out. And then he mentioned, it is actually cobra. So, and it went outside the hut because of the sound which he made. And it was slowly going. I thought, it is very slowly going, it has to be killed, it has to be hit on head. So then I was still not getting, guts to go near. And I somehow has hit, from far away distance, maybe from here to the wall distance. And then that snake, like a rocket, it went into the fields. And when I saw that speed, I shocked actually. My Lord, what is this? अगर ये speed से अगर वो attack किया होता. And so that time my counselor was mentioning, Sankirtan was mentioning that this cobra is so powerful that it can jump up to the height of horse also, and it can. Then I was like, my head was started reeling. So, and of course, somehow after 1-2 days, I took leave of Goshala that time. So wish is very, very dangerous. You know, everyone is afraid of wish. So wish separates soul from body, but Vishaya, it separates soul from Krishna. Now, you know, wish separating soul from body, it is only one life. But Vishayi, separating from Krishna, it is life after life after life. So these misconceptions propagated by the film industries, they actually impact the consciousness of the people life after life after life. So we can see this capitalists who are like in a mood of grabbing and gratifying. They don't gel with the communists. They say communists are, they make theories, communists make theories, everybody is equal and all that. And they're, you know, little, they say that, you know, these communists are psychic, and indeed the communists are having, you know, that psychic conception. And, but, you know, the capitalists, you know, they keep on saying that everybody who is beyond their thinking is psychic. You know, they start, you know, what do you call, shut off, you know, everybody else who is beyond their concept. And they propagate very, very strongly that particular conception. They have a lot of influence, lot of power, and they start propagating with their power. So these values of capitalism are there in India before independence, and it is after independence there are values of communism. It was found out that some ex-CIA agent, he revealed that India has been influenced by KGB after independence. So anyway, how we have to understand this particular concept is Bhagavad Gita tells one of the statement that at different points the passion, sometimes passion dominates ignorance and goodness, and sometimes ignorance dominates passion and goodness, and sometimes goodness dominates passion and ignorance. So that's how, you know, the material nature works. Maya Jakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. So and how it dominates by activating the leaders in that particular modes. So these leaders in these different classes, they're actually 7th, 8th classes, and they mislead. The so-called leaders, they mislead. So in order to vaccinate ourselves, Bhavaushadi Stotra Manobirama, we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. If you don't vaccinate ourselves, then we get carried away by the degraded values of the 7th and 8th values, and then we start getting into Niyamagraha, too much rules or not following rules, like that. So that darkness can be dispelled by the son of Bhuk Bhagwat and in association of person Bhagwat. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the very, very famous sloka, it says, Krishne Swadamo Pagate Dharmagnanadi Bisaha Kalau Nashtadrisham Nesha Puranarko Adunodita. So when Krishna went back to spiritual world, along with Dharma and Gnana, so then in that darkness of Kali arose the son of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Purana. So this dualities which were very, very, the concepts, one thing is there is tendencies, but the root of these tendencies, the wrong tendencies, is the misconceptions which were being propagated very strongly by the misleaders. Those misleaders, the impact of those misleaders can be dispelled by associating with Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Then, you know, one can, all the false arthas will be completely, false conceptions will be removed, and one will come to the true conception. That is called as Nishta, Naishtiki. So then when you take holy names, you can take with lot of feeling, lot of enthusiasm. Like in the hazy consciousness, we cannot take holy names properly. Parikshit Maharaj heard for 7 days. Maharaj was mentioning, Param Puj Bhakti Vijay Bhagavad Swami Maharaj, that starting on Radhastami till Bhadra Purnima, Parikshit Maharaj was continuously hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and it ended on Bhadra Purnima, which was coming on September 29th. So 23rd is Sri Radhastami, and 29th is Bhadra Purnima. So Maharaj was mentioning this particular point, that how on Bhadra Purnima the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam ended, and then he took the holy names, and then of course the Srimad Bhagavatam conclusion is holy names. So we rise above the dualities of this world, which were being propagated so strongly by the misleaders, and we come to the shelter of Srimati Radharani. We come to the understanding of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. And with that Achintya Bheda Bheda, with that proper Bhakti Siddhanta, then we can take holy names very, very nicely. A lot of misconceptions can be cleared. Like one of the misconceptions Srila Prabhupada mentions, actually we think the currencies, the paper notes, and also the numbers in the account, they're very, as if we value something nicely. But actually Srila Prabhupada exposes that this currency is actually cheating. Srila Prabhupada exposes in first canto, 16th, 17th chapter, Punishment and Reward of Kali, I guess 17th chapter. So there Srila Prabhupada exposes that how this currency is actually cheating. One can keep on printing as many notes as possible, but there is no resources. The resources or the richness of the country is known by grains and the different, the real wealth of gold and different other aspects. Like it is measured in terms of gold. So, but without having proper gold, there is so much of printing of currency, which is actually called as false currency. So all these false concepts which the whole world is going by, they get exposed in Srimad Bhagavatam. We come to reality, we awaken to reality by associating with Shakti Avatar, how the world is misleading. So there are different modes which influence the leaders in different modes and activate them. And it is by association with Shakti Avatar one can come out of Shakti Avatar. It destroys the misleaders' impact on our consciousness and saves us from that darkness of misconception, and then we'll come to life. We'll come back to life. So just like one of the example, Srila Prabhupada often criticizes Brahmanas, how they were misleading the masses, even though they don't have the quality of Brahmana. And similarly, we can see now the educationalists, like material educationalists. Actually, education is actually not the right word. It is so-called, material education. But Acharyas mentioned that Jada Vidya Mayar Vaibhav, Jeev ka Koryo Ghada. So it is Ghada, they become donkeys, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories. And they act as if they are on the 1, 2, 3, 4 categories. Like after someone very, very strongly identifies with 5, 6, 7, 8 categories, especially we see in India, so strongly they identify with 5, 6, 7, 8 categories. And after that, coming to Krishna consciousness, like it becomes a very, very, very difficult aspect until and unless one associates with the person Bhagavat regularly. So it is very, very important that we regularly associate with person Bhagavat because of the strong influence of the misleaders. So we have to take the message very, very strongly for ourselves, and we have to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam to as many people as possible. Because whatever misgivings, like or misbehavior that you come across with the people outside is because of the misconceptions that they are carrying. Like any influential person whom you know who doesn't properly deal and all, it is mainly because of the misconceptions he is having against the proper tattva of what we are representing. So it is very important that we have to help him out by giving Srimad Bhagavatam so that he can come to proper conception. At least one sentence, one page he reads, it will strike. Very, very powerful. One sentence, one word he reads, it will strike. So it is dropping the bomb. It is like Air Force dropping the bomb in the lap of Maya. And then there will be a revolution. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratislokam abaddavatyapi namanyanantasya isho ankitanyat srinvanti gayanti grinanti sadava. So Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo, you know, this world which is filled with aga, matlab sins and sinful mentality, sinful conception, there will be viplava by distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have to see how we got benefited, and we have to benefit the masses also, to bring revolution in their lives also. So I'll just end up with short message from Leelamrit. So Srila Prabhupada writing was only half the battle for him. The other half was publishing. Both Bhaktivedanta Swami and his spiritual master wanted to see Srimad Bhagavatam printed in English and distributed widely. According to the teachings of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, the most modern methods of printing and distributing books should be used to spread Krishna consciousness. Although many books of Vaishnava wisdom had already been perfectly presented by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami, the manuscripts now sat deteriorating in the Radha Damodar temple and other locations. And even the Gaudiya Math's printing of the Goswami's works were not being widely distributed. One of Bhaktivedanta Swami's god brother asked him why he was spending so much time and effort trying to make a new commentary on the Bhagavatam, since so many great acharyas had already commented upon it. But in Bhaktivedanta Swami's mind, there was no question. His spiritual master had given him an order. Commercial publishers, however, were not interested in the 60-volume Bhagavatam series, and Bhaktivedanta Swami was not interested in anything less than a 60-volume parampara presentation of verses, synonyms and purports based on the commentary of the previous acharyas. But to publish such books, he would have to raise private donations and publish at his own expense. Radha Damodar temple may have been the best place for writing Srimad Bhagavatam, but not for printing and publishing it. For that, he would have to go to New Delhi. Among his New Delhi contacts, Bhaktivedanta Swami considered Hitacharan Sharma a likely helper. Although when he had stayed in Mr. Sharma's home, Mr. Sharma had appreciated him more as a member of Janri than as an individual. At least Mr. Sharma was inclined to help sadhus, and he recognized Bhaktivedanta Swami as a genuinely religious person. Therefore, when Bhaktivedanta Swami approached him in his office, he was willing to help, considering it a religious duty to propagate Srimad Bhagavatam. Hitacharan Sharma, he was well qualified to help for two reasons. He was secretary to J.D. Dalmia, a wealthy philanthropist, and he was the owner of commercial printing works, Radha Press. So you can see here how influential people, they want to do something for Srimad Bhagavatam. According to Mr. Sharma, Mr. Dalmia would not directly give money to Bhaktivedanta Swami even if his secretary suggested it to Mr. Sharma. Therefore advised Bhaktivedanta Swami to go to Gorakhpur and show his manuscript to Hanuman Prasad Poddar, religious publisher. Accepting this as a good advice, Bhaktivedanta Swami journeyed to Gorakhpur, some 475 miles from Delhi. Even such a trip as this constituted a financial strain. Bhaktivedanta Swami's daily ledger showed a balance of 130 rupees as of August 8, 1962. The day he started for Gorakhpur, By the time he reached Lucknow, he was down to 57 rupees. Travel from Lucknow to Gorakhpur cost another 6 rupees, and the rickshaw to Mr. Podar's home cost 80 paisa. But the trip was well worth the cost. Bhaktivedanta Swami presented Mr. Podar with his letter of introduction from his Charan Sharma and then showed him his manuscript. After briefly examining the manuscript, Mr. Podar concluded it to be a highly developed work that should be supported. He agreed to send a donation of 4,000 rupees to Dalmia Trust in Delhi to be used toward the publication of Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami's Srimad Bhagavatam. Indian printers do not always require full payment before they begin the job, provided they get advance payment. After the job is printed and bound, a customer who has not made the complete payment takes a portion of books commensurate of what to be paid. So Bhaktivedanta estimated the printing one volume would cost 7,000 rupees. He was 3,000 short, and he raised a few hundred rupees more by going door to door throughout Delhi. Then he went back to Radha Press and asked Charan Sharma to begin. Mr. Sharma then agreed. Radha Press had already produced much of first 2 chapters when Bhaktivedanta Swami objected that the type was not large enough. He wanted 12-point type, but Radha Press had only 10 points. So Mr. Sharma agreed to take the work to another printer, Mr. Gautam Sharma of OK Press. So one of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, OK Press printed 4 book pages twice, and then it went on thrice, and finally Srila Prabhupada agreed. So the struggle, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that many times Srila Prabhupada used to deal with this publisher, that why is he not doing on time, and why is he delaying, and he was telling that I had some other work, in my primary, but your work is secondary, like that he was telling. So by this, you wasted my whole day, Srila Prabhupada said. And again, Srila Prabhupada made him work and do the job. And amidst Chauri Bazaar, with a lot of struggle, staying there, after 4 months, when the whole book had been printed and the sheets were stacked on the floor of the press, Mr. Charan Sharma arranged for the work to be moved to bindery, and then finally there were around 1,100 copies when the printing and binding was completed. So Bhaktivedanta Swami would receive 100 copies, and the printer would keep the balance from the sale of 100 copies. Bhaktivedanta Swami would continue to pay off his debt to the printer and binder, and then he would receive another supply of books. This would continue until he had finished paying his debt. His plan was then to publish a second volume from the profits of the first, and then the third volume. So finally, Srila Prabhupada, with lot of struggles, he got all the books, and finally the dream came true. In America, it would be different. He would be a foreigner, and there would be no tradition of sadhus, no temples, no free ashramas there in America where he was about to go. So there is nothing, no shelter. Then Srila Prabhupada thought of the books. He was bringing transcendental knowledge in English. Then he became confident, and then he went ahead boarding the Jaladuta. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.